Good morning and welcome once again for the learning journey that we started online. Okay. Um, Let us continue with the world of macroeconomics. So earlier we had completed one unit in macroeconomics, which is government budget. Now let us resume that learning with another unit, which is money and banking. Just as your government budget unit, which carried 6 marks, even this unit carries the weightage of 6 marks for your board exam. Okay, so now I'm sure all of you would have assessed yourselves by taking prior knowledge test and evaluated your prior understanding of money and banking. That was only to evaluate for yourselves. And then I had posted one white paper to provide a context to this unit. I'm sure all of you would have gone through that white paper. Essentially, that white paper talks about the evolution, the journey of money from, say, barter system to the cryptocurrencies that we are seeing right now. It's an interesting journey to observe and evaluate and critically analyze. Also, a few infographics were provided in white paper, which talks about the transformation of money from, say, barter system to gold to silver to coins to paper currencies and then to digital currency that we are witnessing today. So I recommend all of you to go through the interesting journey provided in the white paper. And also a few links were shared in white paper for you to understand the basic working of banking system, how commercial banks work, and then the role of what is the need for a central bank in any country. If you have gone through that, probably you could have made up in your mind a basic understanding of what you can expect in this unit. Okay, so I'm very sure money, that these two terms, money and banking, are not new to us, and rather money is something which makes the world go around. And banking, of course, it is the backbone, the invisible backbone of any economy. And even in our personal life, it is an integral part of our personal lives as well. So we will just dive deeper into these two aspects in this unit. And in fact, I was wondering, money has so many dimensions to it. In fact, it creates relationships, it breaks relationships, um, it also induced wars, it creates so many feelings in man like hatred, jealousy, and then it is a purpose, it is a means to end to certain ends for many people, while for some it is a destination altogether. So money has multiple aspects to it. Okay, so I found certain quotes which were very interesting, which I found interesting. Money. So if you can see on this slide, interesting quotes about money. I'll just pick one or two of these. The third one I liked very much. He who loses money loses much. Who loses a friend loses much more. He who loses faith loses all. In fact, if we read this quote, we feel that money is so insignificant in our lives, right? So, another one, money is like muck, not good unless it is spread. It says that money cannot be in the hands of few, it has to be distributed. So, money has multiple dimensions. Now, you might be wondering whether you are sitting in a philosophy and English literature class or an economics class, right? But I just thought I will start the class with these quotes. But now we will wear the hat of an economics student, a learner of economics, and we will try to understand these two aspects of money and banking from a economics lens. Now, what can you expect in this unit? So the next slide shows you what will be the learning objectives of this unit. In fact, if you see these learning objectives, basically we'll try to understand what is the meaning of money. Now you must be wondering, what is a great deal about it? Everybody knows what is money, but you will be surprised how money can be defined in this unit. And then how money has evolved. I want you all to see the evolution of money. A video is also provided in the white paper. Please go through it. Now, to understand what is money supply. In fact, in any economy, there is supply of money. Now, how do we measure that supply? There are certain measures through which we can estimate the supply of money. We can define the supply of money in the system. The third one is evaluate the process of money creation by the commercial banking system. So money is created in the system. Who creates money? Who are the players who supply the money? And how can commercial banks supply money or create money in the system? Now the fourth one is, why do we need a central bank? To understand central bank and its functions, what is the role of a central bank in any economy? In India, it is Reserve Bank of India. Now, the last one that we will discuss is appreciate the role of RBI in managing the money supply through monetary policy. If you remember, when we did government budget, I spoke about two policy instruments which are available to achieve growth and stability in any economy. The first policy instrument is fiscal policy or budgetary policy. That is what we discussed as part of government budget. Now, in this unit, we will discuss about monetary policy. How, by the use of monetary policy, RBI tries to achieve these twin objectives of growth and stability, and also how it controls or regulates money supply in the system. So broadly, you can expect these objectives to be achieved by studying this chapter. Okay. Now let us go to the next slide. Now barter system, I don't think I need to spend much time on barter system because most of you know what is barter system, and I recommend you to watch this link to understand it better for those of you who want a little more clarity on this. So barter system survived for many centuries. It's not that it vanished in a day or two. It survived for many centuries. However, it had several limitations. Now, what are those limitations? Barter system, it had the sale and purchase had to happen simultaneously, which means there need to be double coincidence of wants, and you cannot estimate the relative prices of goods, and you cannot store value of any good or service. So all these limitations were there with barter system, and hence there was an acute need for some system which would overcome all these limitations. And who solved that problem? Definitely the introduction of money solved the problems or limitations that we had with barter system. Okay, so now we will try to understand. So next, okay, now this slide shows you the functions of money. Now by understanding what are the functions of money, we can define what exactly is money. So till now, if somebody asks you what is money, you would have told them money is, what a silly question it is. Money is something which helps you to buy goods and services, that's all. But here, let us go a step ahead and define money through its functions. So if you see this graphic here, you are able to you are seeing two functions, primary functions and secondary functions. So secondary functions are derived from primary functions. So if you see, there are two primary functions. One is medium of exchange and another is measure of value. Okay. So medium of exchange, of course, money helps you to exchange goods and services. So there is no great robot science here. So money helps you, it overcomes double coincidence of wants that is there in barter system. Okay, so if you want to buy money, you can just go and if you want to buy any good or service, you can just go and exchange that good or service with money. So it helps as a medium to exchange any good or service. And then second one is, it's a measure of value. Now how do you measure the value of something? Suppose say you have gold. You can say that gold costs say 50,000 rupees per 10 grams. If you say, in comparison, if you say onion, you can say it costs say 50 rupees per kilogram. So it is helping you to measure the value of something, and also it helps to indicate relative values of goods and services. When I say relative value, it means a comparative value. For example, if you say tomatoes cost 10 rupees a kilogram and onions cost 50 rupees a kilogram, you will immediately say that onions are costlier than tomatoes. When you are saying costlier, what are you doing? In your mind, you have already calculated that when compared to tomatoes, onions are costlier. How are you able to do that? Because the money here, which is in terms of rupees, it is helping you to fix a value for these goods and services. So money helps you to as a measure of value. Now the third one, which is a secondary function, it is derived from these primary functions. It is a standard of deferred payments, which means what is deferred payment? You can make a payment sometime in the future. So if you compare it with barter system, the transaction has to take place then and there at that moment. If two people are exchanging rice for some fruit or some other commodity, they have to do it then and there. But in the current economic system, many transactions take place in which payment is made at a future date. For example, if you are taking a loan, you are not you will be repaying the loan sometime in the future. Now, how are you able to do that? Because money is helping you to do that. Okay, so it is also a standard of deferred payment. Now, it is also one more function. In fact, this feature, this standard of deferred payment has helped to create many financial institutions like banks. Now, banks, when they are lending, what are they doing? It is based on this function of money only, because they are lending and people can repay that money at a later date. So, this is secondary function of money. The last one is it is store of value. Okay. Now, what is store of value? So, for example, a farmer grows say 100 kilograms of mangoes. Okay. Now, that is his hard-earned resource. He has toiled 1 year for it, but he cannot, just because he has reaped 100 kilograms of mangoes after 1 year. He cannot store it for 1 year, right? So, how can he derive value out of those mangoes? Only when he sells them and convert that into money, then that is a store. Money becomes a store of value. Mangoes and such perishable items cannot be store of value. Of course, there are many assets which are store of value. For example, your land or your gold. All these also have this function. They are store. They have function of store of value. But money is the most simplest form of store of value. So it stores value of. So it is also called as asset function of money, which means it helps. What is an asset? It captures the value of any good or a service. So all these four functions, they help us to define money. Just to summarize, when they ask, if anybody asks what is money, money is something. They ask you to define money. What is money? You should say money is something which is generally accepted. The word generally accepted, what does it mean? In fact, if I and some other person agree plastic to be money, it can be money. And if I and if two people who are transacting agree, say a certain paper as money, it can be money. So it is a generally accepted medium of exchange, a measure of value, which is a standard of deferred payment and which stores value. When all these four properties are displayed by any agent or any medium, then that is called as money. So now, if somebody asks you to define money, you have to include all these four terms. So money, when we are using the word money, it includes coins, currency notes, okay, your checks, everything. Okay, so so definition of money should include all these four terms. Okay, so just to summarize what we discussed in this video lesson of this first video lesson of this unit. Firstly, we tried to discuss the objectives of this unit, what are we going to do in this unit, and then we try to discuss what is barter system, though we did not discuss at length, and that is only based on the assumption that you know much about barter system. And then we try to understand what are the limitations of barter system and how money overcomes it. Then we try to discuss what are the four functions of money, and then how should we define money. So with this, I will end this first session, and your class task, I want you to write the learning objectives in your journal, and also whatever in Sandeep Garg book or any other resource book that you have, please read about barter system, or you can watch this video and then you can write down the meaning and limitations of barter system. Okay, thank you.